All right, guys, what's going on? It's Nick with NK Landscaping again as usual, and boy do I have an exciting video for you. You can kind of see what's behind us. We're not going to do a job, we're going to pick something up. So I just listed our old Sheldon lathe on Facebook Marketplace because we just came home with our new Victor auction lathe, and somebody messaged me and asked if I could assist them in selling their lathe. So they had a lathe, a couple other things, and he was trying to figure out how to sell it, and for some reason reached out to me and thought I could help him out. And little did he know that would just turn into us offering to buy his stuff. So we're gonna eat lunch here. We just got off of a regular NK Landscaping job, and we're gonna go check this stuff out. And you know, if we're gonna go out there and check it out, we might as well bring the equipment just in case that he's willing to sell it. The prices listed were pretty good, so let's see if we can get this thing for a deal. Okay, guys, I am overwhelmed. Kurt's overwhelmed. We just got done with the guy. We're still here. This is a foreclosure, and he needed to get everything out of here, so we kind of went ham and just started buying stuff. A lot of the stuff he just gave us. So we did buy the lathe and the drill press. That set us back 600 bucks. And then we bought some other stuff for $100. So we're $700 invested in this thing. And it all looks like junk. I'll tell you that. It looks like junk, but this stuff's gonna clean up, and I think we did really well. So over here we got a truck bed full of stuff. We got lathe chucks, we got mill vices, round stock, all sorts of stuff. We have 3 of these storage bins full of hardware. There's helicoil stuff. There's more lathe parts over there. There's 2 metal stands. So that's a good value of stuff once we separate through. It's full of mouse crap. But there's good stuff in there. We've done this a number of times, and you gotta see the value. You gotta look past all the mouse crap. But the 2 big winners is this Dayton drill press, which is variable speed. It's a tabletop model. I think Kurt's gonna keep that. It's a nice drill press. And then the star of the show, which is probably the roughest looking thing, is this old LeBlond lathe. Now what we liked about this is it has a quick change gearbox. It has, Kurt's gonna show you something in a minute, everything functions. And then if we come over here, something it's got that I like is a taper attachment. So that adds some value. This thing will clean up. It's not that bad. It looks disgusting, but I've seen far worse clean up. Kurt, what did you want to show me?
You know what this is?
That is a pillow block bearing.
I just looked it up on eBay. They sell for $100, $150.
$100 to $150 for a pillow block bearing. It almost looks like the pivoting style. Say, what is that? A Sealmaster bearing. So I think there's more than $700 of value in this tool haul. I know this isn't the tool haul channel, but we're here, and Kurt will have his own video on this. Mine's mainly how we acquire this stuff and the equipment it takes to get it. So everything came out of this shop. There's a garage door on the back, so I had to go on the lawn. I did a pretty good job of not damaging the lawn. That whole building has a wood floor. We had to actually winch the lathe over because it was not behind the door. Got on the forks, got it out on the trailer. Now I gotta turn this stuff all around. We gotta get some stuff strapped down, and we need to get home before the sun goes down. I don't have any room in my garage for this right now, so it's gonna have to sit outside. We'll throw a tarp over it, but whoa, that was a score. All right, let's strap that down. So if you've ever had the pleasure of strapping down machinery, or machine equipment, I should say, it's not easy. That one chain over there doesn't look good, but I mean, it's sturdy. It's not going anywhere. I'll check it in a few miles. This thing's got a chain and binder on this side, a strap on the back, and a strap going over it. So hopefully that thing doesn't flip over. Everything in the bed isn't going anywhere. So let's go home. I'm tired and cold. So guys, it's been a couple of weeks since we bought this big tool haul. You can see we've transferred the lathe onto this small trailer. I have it behind the mule, or technically in front of the mule. But we're gonna get this thing strapped down so it doesn't flip over on us. And we're gonna bring it down to the back door of my shop. I have the 3-phase plug right inside of that door. So this thing does have a 3-phase plug on it. It is 3-phase. We're gonna get it plugged in, and hopefully this thing runs. If it does, we're gonna get it all cleaned up and ready for sale. maybe make a cut on it or two just to make sure it functions properly, but a quickie cleaning. This was just a quick flip on this one. It wasn't supposed to be a, restoration or anything. So let's get this thing brought down and get testing. All right, so this is mildly sketchy. This is a generator extension cord. It's a 4-prong, but this prong was a little wider than what fits in the phase converter here, so just ground it down. I mean, it should be fine. It's a 30 amp cord. That's a 30 amp plug on there. Maybe not right, but that's okay. So it fits in there now. It's plugged into the lathe. All right, the phase converter started, no problem. So that means everything is wired properly. Let's see here. How do we operate this bad boy? I believe it's just this lever here, so. I got nothing yet, but we do have whatever this thing is up here. I don't know. Interesting. There's also this panel down here. That's a reset button. That seems okay. So what are we missing? All right, guys, I figured it out. There's a sneaky little on switch right there. But, oh yeah. It works. Now I can't run the compound, or sorry, I can't run the cross slide because I have it strapped down, so I'll have to take that off here real quick. And then let's see if everything works. Man, this thing is ugly, but I'm glad it works. That's cool. It's hard to kill these old guys. All right, let's stand down here. On is actually the opposite direction of my new Victor, but that's gonna be the forward direction. And let's see, this is probably going to not be that. That's the cross slide, and that's the compound, so we're in reverse. So feed compound, course fine, feed reverse. And we'll go, what was it? Up. We are feeding. No way. And the compound slide functions as well. Not the compound, the cross feed. That is awesome. Look at that thing go. Now, we've got some different gears here. Oh, we got something going on. We got nothing there. Oh, okay, so that's multiple different speeds here. Okay, there we go. Very nice. So Turn that off. Neutral. And then we have spindle speeds here. So, I don't know if that's going to be faster. I don't know, we'll find out. That's slower. There's another gear right there. Even slower. Pretty dang slow. And then what is this? So this is a different. There we go. Oh, look at that. I don't even have a speed that slow on the Victor. Wow. All right, so now I'm glad we got this thing working. We know it works. What we can do is, it's not gonna happen today, but we're gonna bring this thing in the shop and get it all cleaned up. Luckily it's on the trailer. I just need to move quite a few things. We've already got 2 lathes in here and a lawnmower we're working on. That whole side of the shop's taken up by a trailer. So clearly it's not gonna fit in here today, but in the next clip, this thing will be in here and we'll get it all cleaned up for you guys. So at what point is something considered to be too much? When do you consider something a problem? When you have to do this to walk through your garage, is that a problem? Is it considered hoarding? When you have multiples of something? Well, that's a trailer. That's a trailer. That's a lathe. That's a lathe. And that's a lathe. Why do we have 3 lathes and 2 trailers in my garage right now? Healthy person might think that's a problem. I guess we're not healthy. So we finally have this thing in the garage. It's the next day. We didn't spend much time with this thing outside. It's time to get this cleaned up. If you're wondering about the drill press, yeah, it's still over here. Kurt was working on it. He cleaned it up a little bit. You may notice the lack of something. The motor is gone. Well, I liked that variable speed drive that was on that thing so much that I modified my current drill press and I swapped the motor on and I made a bracket to mount the variable speed drive. Let me see if you can get a better look. So now I have a variable speed drive drill press. We're gonna mount the other motor that came off of my drill press onto that other one. So Kurt has his own drill press. Taking a look at this thing. So we have a LeBlond. I still don't know the size of this thing. It just says it's a LeBlond Regal lathe. So it's time to get this thing cleaned up. That means we're gonna pull all this swarf and shavings out of here, give the ways a good cleaning, scrape all the excess paint off of here that doesn't need to be on it, and then we'll go from there. That's just the number of patents they have, but it's gonna be a bit before we get this thing cleaned up, but the goal is to get this thing listed for sale today. So let's get to it. It has been 5 whole weeks. We've gotten a lot of projects in and out of this garage in that time. So you'll notice look at all the room I have. No more trailers and a severe lack of lathes compared to that last clip. There's only 2 left in here. The Victor's in place. You saw that in the last video, and the Sheldon has disappeared. It made its way to Pennsylvania to its new home, and the LeBlond is the last man standing that's going as far as that. It's clean. Look at that. It used to be blue. We spent basically 3 whole days getting this thing and all the parts and accessories cleaned up. It looks so much better. Everything functions, it runs. We've got all the different chucks for it. So it has a faceplate, some wrenches. We're gonna sell it with some tooling, just some high-speed steel stuff. That is way too big for this lathe, but it came with it and it does fit. I don't know why you'd be running a 10-inch chuck on this thing, but the new owner will get to play with that as much as they want to. So everything on this machine functions as it should. It's actually not too bad of a machine. It cleaned up really nice. Everything's good. It doesn't even have that much wear in the lead screw or anything. Compound is a little tight, but it works. Tailstock works, everything works. That's amazing. But this thing cleaned up really nicely. Overall, it looks good. I came to the conclusion this is a 1940s to 1950s LeBlond. I believe it's a 14-inch. It could be a 14 or a 15. It's really hard to find like definitive answers on what year and size this machine is, just because I haven't seen another one with the on-off switch here. Usually it's mounted up top in this era. Couldn't find much on that. And like I said, when you measure it, it comes out to a little bit more than a 14-inch swing, so I don't know if it's a 14 or 15. It's a relatively short lathe between centers. The Victor's a little bit bigger than this, and the Victor's a 30-inch between centers. I think this is more like a 26. I'm not really sure, but everything functions, cleaned up pretty good. We changed all the fluids in it. The oil in there was pretty nasty, so it's all functional, and I'm super happy about that. I had mentioned in the last clip that I swapped over that Vary drive from the drill press. So my drill press now has the Vary drive, which is kind of cool because you can now alter the speed of this thing. It now has a brake, so it stops there, and it has reverse. So that's really cool. And the way they do that is kind of interesting. I swapped the motor as well. This is DC. So this box takes AC power from the wall and converts it into DC, and this is a DC 1/2 horsepower motor. Super cool. So Kurt actually got the other drill press that's at his house, so he can use that when he needs, and I got the Vary speed. That worked out cool. All the other stuff that came with this lathe has either gone on eBay or sold. We went to an antique tool show and sold some stuff. Kurt listed the rest of it on eBay, and whatever didn't go with the lathe went, and then we put some stuff back with the lathe. So that was kind of cool tool haul. I know it's a little different than what you're used to seeing from me. I don't generally do tool haul videos. That's usually Kurt's department, but I like showing how we pick this stuff up and how we move it and kind of the process of cleaning it up and getting it hopefully restored so that someone can use it instead of sitting in some dude's old rusty, nasty shed. So I'm glad that we can kind of restore this stuff to working order and hopefully get it to someone that can use it. So that's going to be it on this video. Let me know down below if you like this type of content. We do a lot of this during the winter. Not a whole lot of landscaping to do when the ground is so frozen. So while you're at it, check out Kurt with NK Garage. Again, he's listing. All he does is list on eBay. So if you haven't checked out our eBay store, it's at NK Garage. I'll link that down below, along with Kurt's YouTube channel where we do all the tool hauls. You can see all the kind of hand tools and stuff we deal with every day. He's got videos all the time about that. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll hopefully be seeing you on the next one.